Welcome back, my amazing people. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my video. Guys, like, I have an important question to ask you guys, especially if you're a Nigerian. Have you ever asked yourself this question, that what is going to happen to Nigeria and Nigerians if eventually Tinubu is sworn in as a Nigeria president? How is Tinubu's administration is going to look like? Like, how is the international communities is going to see Nigeria as? Most of the time, when we talk about Tinubu, some people thought that we hate Tinubu. We never hate Tinubu. But the scandals around him is too much. Tinubu is going to be like a father if eventually he's sworn in as a president of Nigeria. He's going to be like a father to all. For instance, if a father is a smoker, there is 99% of chance, okay, that his children will become a smoker in the future time. Nigeria will be like a free-for-all. There will be no rule of law. Like, everyone will be doing anyhow we want, just do it. Because you are not going to be punished. Because Oga on top is also, you know what I'm talking about. So he's not going to see it as anything if he commits crime. Because it's a normal thing to them. So if this thing continues, what's going to be the fate of Nigeria and Nigerians in future time, my people? That's why most of us are fighting, my people. Anyhow, are you praying? Are you whatever you are doing in order to stop this calamity to happen to Nigeria? Just do it. Because it's not going to be easy for every one of us. It's we all that's going to suffer it. So our dear and fearless David Hundeyin is here to tell us what to expect if eventually Tinubu is sworn in as a Nigeria president. What to expect so that when those things start happening, it's not going to be like a surprise to us. It's not going to choke us, okay? So, dear David, in your own opinion, tell us how Tinubu's administration is going to look like.
So, I think you've already answered the question. When you have or what purports to be an incoming government, as you said, at the moment, it's 50-50, but we have to assume that come May 29, that there's some kind of swearing in and this person becomes president. And assuming that presidency lasts for any appreciable period of time, what you potentially then have, in addition to the things you've mentioned, which is a government which is just pockmarked with different interest groups doing things that are in their self-interest, and the national interest is going to be, it's not even going to be on the burner, whether back burner or anything. It's not going to be on the cooker at all. It's not going to be on the stove. It's going to be thrown away somewhere. Apart from that, for me, the real danger with Tinubu presidency, so there are three major dangers of the Tinubu presidency. Those things you mentioned, the fact that there's just going to be all-out greed, all-out scramble for, people who think that it's their turn. And then secondly, the international angle, which could result in, Nigeria becoming a pariah state, Nigeria being viewed through the lens of a narco state, and us suffering in terms of travel privileges and things like that. And then the third thing, which I think is actually the most dangerous thing, is that for the first time, Nigeria would have an administration which does not even pretend, does not even pay lip service to the idea of fighting corruption. Now, successive Nigerian administrations, both military and civilian, have obviously been corrupt. But one thing that has always been across all those administrations is that even if the corruption goes all the way to the top, there is always a certain measure of self-awareness that at least we can't be seen doing this in public. So if you recall, for example, under the Jonathan administration, when the then aviation minister, what's her name again? Stella
Odua.
Yeah, Stella Odua was basically caught out in that scandal, which I think was it? How much was it again? 155 million naira, something like that.
Thereabout.
Yeah. You could say that 155 million naira in terms of actual corruption that Nigeria faces, 155 million naira is a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. And you could say that there were much more corrupt things going on under that administration, possibly. But just because there was there were those bad optics that I can't have a cabinet minister who has been conclusively linked to a corruption scandal, Jonathan fired her, right? Which was the right thing to do, right? It's not that all the other cabinet ministers or the other prominent members of the administration didn't also have corruption issues, which were even more than that. But it's that there is that thing that Yoruba people call itiju, that sense of shame. I can't be caught doing this. I can't be seen doing this. I think under a Tinubu presidency, there will be no such thing. Because really, what reason do you have to be ashamed? What reason do you have to think that there will be political consequences for being seen or being caught doing anything? When the Oga at the top himself, there is no type of misbehavior, scandal. There's no type of negative thing that is not already linked to this person's name. So it's whether it's kleptocratic governance, state capture and theft on steroids, involvement in drug trafficking, involvement in electoral violence and thuggery, open thuggery, open affiliation with members of people of the underworld, organized crime figures like MC Oluomo, just anything negative you can think of. Someone who's vice president is someone who Kabir Sokoto, the Christmas Day bomber, was caught staying in this person's house. So when you have an administration which is filled with characters like that, and then despite all of that, they somehow make it to the point of swearing in and they get sworn in and they're actually empowered. The signal that sends out, which in my opinion is the most dangerous thing, the signal that sends out to Nigeria, to West Africa and the world beyond, is that Nigeria is open for everything. It's free for all now. There is no such thing as rule of law. There is no such thing as journalism. There's no such thing as trying to do the right thing or trying to ensure that the right thing is done, trying to apply pressure on public officials to ensure that there's nothing like that anymore, right? So to people who are involved in crime, that sends a very definite message. So whether it's internet fraud you are doing, or it's kidnapping, or it's drug trafficking, whatever you're doing, you are covered now because your guy is in charge now. And even if it's not someone you're affiliated with and you're involved in it, it's just the fact that this person can become president, that's an inspiration to you. That look, I don't have any, there's no limit to how high I can go now. And then if you're involved in something positive, something honest, something legitimate, the signal this sends out to you is that it doesn't matter.
Wow.
Your contribution to society isn't important. And, at the end of the day, it's the people who compromise, it's the people who do the terrible things that are going to win. That ultimately you are the loser. And then to the international community, it sends the message that whatever negative, nefarious, dirty, dangerous thing that you want to do or be involved in, come to Nigeria. Nigeria is open for business.
Chai, my people, we are in a long thing. No, it's only God that will save us in this situation, honestly. So, my people, I hope you guys had everything that he said. Yeah, I will leave you guys till in my next update. So, if today is your first time, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it as well. I'm going to see you guys in my next one, guys. Bye for now.